If you have been feeling lonely and you have that constant feeling underlying coming and you're like, why do I feel lonely? Why do I have nobody to rely on? Why do I have nobody to talk to? Let me tell you, we live in a generation where we have cell phones in our pockets, we have social media, we have so many ways to communicate, and so many websites. You can go online to talk to so many people. But then also, the underlying feeling of loneliness will never go away. It's because the loneliness is not coming from outside, it's coming from within. And it is coming because we are disconnected from the source. And what I mean by source is not like what you think. The source is our light within us connecting to the source. That could be God, universe, anybody you believe in. I personally don't care. So whoever you believe in is your source, is connected to you at all times. And if you have actually found the light within you, you know it's connecting to you at all times, and you would never feel that feeling ever again. It's because we are so disconnected that we keep on feeling that over and over again. Even when we are in social settings, you will still feel the loneliness coming in because you're so disconnected to your own self and your source. Your true essence is the light of God, and you should feel the connection with the God at all times. And that only comes in when you practice and you sit down with your own self. You practice the connection, you make it stronger. You go within rather than going outside. You see so many people dabbling into other people's energy because, they go into relationships. They go into like, oh, I'll go and do this because I need some energy. I need some distractions because this feeling is not going away. And trust me, it will never go away until you actually address that feeling. And now comes to feelings. As human beings, we have so many feelings that we feel at all times. When I say that, it actually means that as human beings, we are gifted, and that's also our disadvantage, that we can feel any emotion at any times we want to. So, for example, for an animal, when it gets chased, like a deer gets chased by a lion, it feels the emotion of like fear or like anxiety, and if you've seen it, like it shakes its body and it's running for its life. And if it ends up not being the dinner for that day, you know that it shakes up its body, it lets the anxiety go away, it takes up the deep breathing, it's breathing heavily, it rests up, and then it go back to normal, because that's the animal instinct, because that's how they recover. And then it forgets a bit about the event. The animal or the deer doesn't go talking to other deers like how terrified it was, how much bad it was for his life that a lion saw him, and he doesn't go about gossiping about that, because it's part of their DNA that they recover from that event easily. But as human beings, we are different. So that's where the difference comes in, right? So we feel the fear of an event, we can feel it at any time. Or we can feel the emotions of love and happiness and joy at any time. But most of the times, we are dependent on the negative emotions. So what that actually means is, if you actually got betrayed, if you got into an event where it was a devastating news for you, and you were in fear, you were in anxiety, you had such a traumatic experience, but you never came out of it after the event. You never took time to process that event, and you're still thinking about it every single day. You're telling other people the stories of the same event, and then how terrified you are till date because of that event. You really need to do is change the story And that's in your hand. It's in your hand to change that story. It's not other people who's going to change it. The deer, as I gave an example, doesn't go around talking about its story. It knows that he's saved, and it processes emotion and goes out living its life. But for humans, we go around talking about the traumatic experience over and over again, just feeling that emotion over and over again. Because remember, anytime you think, anytime you talk, anytime you give it attention, you are actually processing that same negative emotion again and again and again. What you really need to do in that event is process your emotion. I'm not saying just shove it up. Process your emotion. Take weeks, months, however the emotion is. Take time to process the emotion and then come out of it as a positive light, that is light of God. Which means that you need to sit down with yourself. And that's where the hard part is, because I feel a lot of people want to feel gratitude, they want to feel the joy, they want to feel the love of life, but they really don't want to practice it. But nothing comes without practice. If you practiced fear and anger and shameful, or you feel all the negative feelings, if you practiced it for so long, how do you feel you're going to come out of it? You have to practice the feeling of love, gratitude, the higher states of emotion, which is those lighter states of emotion. So as I mentioned, those lighter states of emotion, the highest form of emotion is love. Love is God. It is directly proportionate to God. And how we in today's world have manipulated it, it's such a, I don't know, not a nice word, but it's shameful how we have manipulated that word, because love is directly proportionate to God. It is how God is. God is in love form. If you actually go within, you feel your own light and you feel your connection with the source, your light, your God, you know how much it loves you and it's there for you. You will stop feeling the negative emotions. You will know what the truth is. And that's how you come out of the negative loop of life. If you ever wondered, why do you keep attracting the same kind of people or same kind of people around you in relationship, friends, family, or like anything, you feel that, the faces might change, the physical bodies might change, but the essence of the people might not ever change, because you're attracting the similar kind of people that's just going to disappoint you in the end. It's because whatever your vibration is, it's directly attracting similar kind of people. So what that means is, if your vibration is of anger or shamefulness, then you're going to attract people who are going to make you feel the same, right? They're going to actually be like, okay, you're feeling this, I'm going to justify your feeling, just making you feel that more. So when you're love and light and you're like pure joy, you will attract people with same mindset, with same vibration, for you to feel the same. But it doesn't happen overnight. You have to make changes in your life, and some of the practical changes that I'm going to share with you is something that I have formulated and I have applied in my own life. Nobody was born to be feeling gratitude every single day. I wasn't like that. But I changed, and if I can change, anybody can change. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So trust me, you gotta go through your own process. So the first one is, I will always say, meditation. I have seen so many people argue about the fact that it's hard, it's this and that, it's hard, there's so many thoughts coming in, I don't know if I'm doing it right, wrong, blah, 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 blah. But meditation's point is you going within. And if the thought is coming in and it's the same thoughts coming in and out, it's telling you that's what you're thinking. And you don't have to fight with those thoughts. Meditation is going within and observing yourself. As a soul, as a light of God, you're connected to God at all times. You think God would think those negative emotions? No, it will not. And you are thinking because you're in this physical form, confined into this physical form, because as light of God, you wouldn't be able to confine within this physical form. So you have to come in as a part of you. Your light is so big, you cannot even come as a whole in this body. So as you're coming in, you're observing yourself in meditations, and you're observing, then you practice within your meditation what you actually want to feel. You practice gratitude, you practice pure joy. You know what pure joy feels like? I cannot even tell you. It's such a nice feeling that you don't want to even come out of it. You don't want to get into gossip. You don't want to get into those negative emotions, because you will know how good it feels that gossiping about somebody, saying something bad about somebody wouldn't make you feel that. So to be with the God, you have to be with the light. And to be with the light, it is feeling joy, love, emotions. That is lighter form of emotions. Lighter forms of emotions, which is peace, happiness, love, joy. And the highest form of emotion is love. Pure love is directly proportionate to God, as I said. But we feel negative emotions because we don't sit with our own selves. And meditation is exactly what we need to sit with our own selves. You sit with your own self, you constantly sit, even though your mind is fighting with you. Remember who is in control. You are the one controlling it. It's not the other way. It's not your mind controlling you. It's you controlling your mind and your subconscious mind. You are the one writing the script and the code for your subconscious mind. Remember that. And don't let it overpower you. Don't ever let it overpower you. That's what meditation is actually doing. It's writing your subconscious program, sitting with your own self, practicing the emotions, what you actually want to feel, and being the observer. That's what it is in a whole concept. Second, I want to share is fear. Face your fear. So a lot of times I see, on social media, there's think positive, do this, manifest, blah, 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 blah. But you never address the underlying feeling of fear of something that is bothering you. If there is fear of losing something, if there is fear of anything, fear of dying, fear of betrayal, fear of so many things, face those emotions. When you face that, close your eyes. I would say that will change your life. Take a moment to close your eyes and face the biggest fear you have in your life. And when you know the biggest fear, that could be losing someone you really love, your family members, your children. There could be so many fears that you could have. And once you fear it, face it, you will know that you can face anything in your life. It won't bother you anymore. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the fear out of the way. So we're telling fear that I can face you. I can face the biggest fear and I'll still be okay because I know how to do this. I've done this multiple times and I'm telling you I can do this over and over again. So me, by facing the fear, is telling fear that you no longer control me and I write my own script. And that's how your life actually changes. So you have to take the control of writing back your own script. So it's like, I will write my own script. I will let you do your own thing, and I will face you when it comes. And instantly your life will change. You will see the shift within yourself, within that, after you process the fear, that's the shift where it comes in. And that's what shadow work is all about. If you heard of shadow work, that's what it is. Like going back to your childhood self and like seeing what has actually went wrong and then processing those emotions. You still have to do that, but facing your fear as a present self gives you an advantage of like, hold on, I am in control and I know how to do this. Like, I am light of God, like I'm very powerful. And most people don't realize that because they don't practice it. And once you practice it, you know who is in control. Third one is journaling. Take a moment every day in your life. If you cannot do it every day, I would say try and do most of the days. But I would definitely recommend doing it early morning before you actually jump into going to work and living your regular life. Go do journaling. What journaling actually means is I am writing down my emotions, I'm processing it, and I'm writing down my script physically. I'm telling it like I'm aligned with my own self. These are my goals. How I do really want to feel, because every time we set up a goal is like, I really want this new job, but what's towards the end of, if you get it, what's the result? It's like the emotion, like you feel, right? You feel gratitude, you feel joy, you feel all the good emotions that you really want to feel. You're thankful for it, right? You feel the happiness. You can feel it without that. You have to practice to feel that without it. So take a moment to practice that, because your brain is so powerful. It was designed like that. And trust me, when you practice it, when you go through the steps, new doors open up for you that you never saw before. You never saw it coming, it will come to you. Because you are the light of God, and that's how you were designed and made. You're always connected to the source, and remember that. Remember how you would shift your life once you realize that God resides within you, within your heart, and you're connected to God at all times. How would you shift your life? How would you see human beings as? How would you see other beings as? And it is so important, right? You're connected to God at all times. How can we forget that? We came from that source. And we will go back to that same source. So, what story you want to tell that source? What did you do when you came here, right? You want to do a good story, tell up to the source, because we all will go back to the same source. So this was something that I feel was very, very personal, and I think everybody really need to hear this at this today's day and age. We really need to stop stimulating ourselves with anything that comes in, because I feel like people are just like, I don't want to feel lonely, so I'll just randomly do this new talk to this random person just because I want to feel entertained. You don't want to feel entertained with anything. Set a standard for your own self and live by that standard, because that's how you will actually change your life. Also, I would recommend, as a fourth additional, spend time in nature. As much as we undermine our time, we think we don't have time, your soul will feel recharged once you start connecting back to the nature. And that actually means is like feeling the grounding energy of nature. Nature is part of God as well. We all live in the same simulation as God has created us. So take time to connect back to nature. Do some grounding activities. Touch the grass with your bare feet, right? You really want to do that. I started doing it, and I think it's been more than a year now. I think, yeah, it's been more than a year now. And it's actually really, really beautiful. Like, it changes you. It does. You really have to be consistent with all the practices that I mentioned. But please do take time to practice all the things that I mentioned if you really want to see the shift. And remember that we are all light of God, and we are all connected to God at all times. And as you feel the lighter emotions, you are becoming closer to the light, the source. So hopefully this message helps. And thank you for your time, and hope share this with somebody that it will resonate with. Thank you so much. Have yourself a nice day.